Okay. So it's officially here. So that means a guy like me can play it. Okay, what is, I know we touched on it a little bit in the past few podcasts, but do you think that it was necessary, or do you think that there was so many changes that it was a good thing they made a whole new version? Because it's basically CS:GO, right? But it's just a whole new re-engineered game. Okay. So I don't mean to interrupt you, but I think we ran into our first technical difficulty already. So no audio from Mark, even though levels are good, unmuted. So it could be in the settings. Okay. Yep. They're two different tracks. No, so they're two different tracks. Maybe in the settings, there's a audio. Yeah. So stream. I mean, everything. You're on the same. No, you're on the same one as Markstrom. Okay. Audio trick mixer. Right click into it. Okay. Yep. On all the tracks.
Yeah, just put me on all the tracks.
Just
that way,
safe.
whatever you have it set,
Yep.
I'll be on.
Yep. That definitely probably did it right there. Let me get a 1-2 right there. If
1-2, check 1-2.
And a 1-1 in chat if you can hear Storm now. I appreciate you for helping me out on that one.
No worries.
That probably,
I only do this for a living.
I'm gonna say that probably fixed it, but let me just make sure to make sure on my own. Go ahead, give me another mic check out on that one.
No worries.
Probably,
mic check 1-2. 1-2.
Yep, you're good. All right. Well, then, for those who are tuning in, welcome. It wouldn't be the first live episode if we didn't have a few technical difficulties. So thank you for joining us. We just chatted about CS2 for a little bit, but we've been chatting about that for a while now anyway. So
I'll give you the long and short of it.
Go ahead. Give me the long and the short.
No, just the short.
Just the short.
Okay. The short of it is that the game is not super well received right now, and neither has any other CS in the history of CS. There's a famous clip going around, or a popular clip of Shroud basically saying that he thinks the game dies with CS2. People have been asking my thoughts on that. Love Mikey, great guy, played games with him. However, people have been saying that CS was going to die with every iteration that's ever come out.
How many
right? When
iterations
1.6 to, well, the big leaps are 1.6 to Source. People hated Source when it came out and hated it for pretty much the entirety of Source. Nobody ever really liked Source. I did. I played it a lot because I wasn't a whiny little bitch. But, and then from Source to Go launch was incredibly scuffed. And now from Go to 2.
Wait, the Go launch was scuffed and it's gigantic? Yeah. That's awesome. That's just like this podcast.
I mean, CS literally just... Well, there's hope for us, boys. That's good stuff, man.
Yeah.
There's hope for us. Yeah, I mean, it will take time. And then on top of that, like, I think to be consistently decent at CS, or to feel good or comfortable, it takes a lot of setting manipulation and to get a feel for things. And for the first 2 weeks of my like closed beta access, I had to play around with it until I felt good. That's the growing pains that people are going through right now, if they didn't already have access. So
it does feel
it's just a matter of time.
Then like
it definitely feels different. The moving is different. The sound is a little bit different, but improved in my opinion. And then I think the some of the sprays feel a little off. They climb a little bit too fast than they did before. So maybe that is related to the subtick issues that they're also dealing with on the netcode side of things. So we'll see what happens. They'll continue to push out updates. And I did also mention that the first professional tournament is actually going to be coming up here on the 19th in Australia. So I'm really looking forward to that. Don't hold it against me if that date's wrong, but I think that's right. October 19th.
Aren't we going to be away on the 19th?
We are going to be away. Yeah, we're not going to be able to tune in. We'll be live at TwitchCon.
Yeah,
very exciting stuff. So if anyone's rolling out that way yonder, keep your eyes peeled.
Definitely
we'll be rolling around. Me, Slum, and his mustache.
So I'm guessing there's a lot of people that are going to be streaming CS2 on Twitch. Do you think that people are going to be streaming on X? Streaming video games
It's
on
funny
X?
You say that. My buddy literally just went live on X yesterday for the first time. And a buddy that always is trying to push the limits, figure out what the new sauce is, and get after it. Our buddy Vis, who I know you know. So he simulcast to X the other day. It's interesting. It falls in a weird spot because, with Twitch, you're able to simulcast to social media websites that are vertical in nature. And I don't know if that's the exact verbiage, if it's vertical that makes the difference. But I can simulcast to like Insta Live and TikTok, but I can't simulcast on any of the main streaming platforms, right? I can't simulcast to YouTube or Kick, right? That has to be separate. So it's not that I'm, necessarily exclusive only. It's just that if I have a Twitch stream running, it has to be on Twitch only, outside of those couple exceptions. Where X falls in, I'm not really sure, because it's a social media platform, but it's not vertical. And so, there's nothing to really stop you from doing it right now. Our buddy Vis went full-time YouTube. He made the switch entirely. So he has a lot more freedoms. Like he can stream on YouTube, Kick, Insta, TikTok, everything at the same time, and now X, which honestly, those are going to be the platforms that don't handcuff you, that come out of what I would call the platform wars, because giving freedom to your talent is always going to be king there. They're going to follow the sites that allow them to make the best living, right, and to reach the biggest audience. And if you're actively scuffing that, they're not going to be too happy about it, and they probably don't rock with you. Along with a lot of Twitch's malfunctions as of late.
I think that is a common thing that we talk about, and in businesses and streaming platforms, it's a business, and there's rules in business, and there's things that you should live by if you want a successful business. a lot of it is taking care of the people that support your business, which
Yeah.
in this case it's the streamers, it's the content creators, and it's listening to them. If you're not listening to the people that keep it moving, if you're not listening to the people that bring audiences to your platform, like, what are you doing? You should not have a platform.
Yeah, and again, like it just goes back to they're doing a lot of damage mitigation right now from all the suits that took over from Amazon and replaced all the people who actually bled purple over at Twitch. And they have a bunch of departments. They're very large. They have a bunch of departments that don't have very good crosstalk. They don't have like a meaningful, cogent thought process when it comes to like the streamer first mentality that they used to. It's just about the bottom line and answering to the person above them and making sure that they hit whatever KPI is required of them. And it's unfortunate, and the platform and the streamers have suffered as a result. So now I think with Dan Clancy making an active effort, I've spoken positively about him before on the podcast and the meetings that I've had with him. I am surprised that he really does have his finger on the pulse. However, it's just a matter of how much leeway they give him to make meaningful change.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think it's going to be he's going to try and meet streamers halfway, and if he can keep all parties happy, then maybe things rock on. But the waters are definitely still very murky at this time as to where Twitch will be in a couple of years.
Well, let's look at X. Let's look at what just happened. So I think Abe's got something for us over there.
Just a quick. It's just the article that basically Elon, Mr. X himself, did the first ever X stream where he tested the platform and streamed to millions of viewers because he's got a lot of followers.
Hmm.
But I think he did like a Diablo 2 or Diablo 4 PvP mode or something like that.
Cool.
Um, a cool, interesting stat that I pulled out of the article, though, is that X obviously did a lot of marketing, or let's just call him Twitter did a lot of marketing. And I think they said that they're based on market research, they had 91 over 91 million gamers on the platform, and
Hmm.
between the year between June of 2020 and June of 2021, an estimated 70 tweets per second related to gaming. So there's clearly a lot of gaming conversation and gaming related content already being shared on the site. So it just seems like a natural place, especially with their push to do more live content. You've seen that with even people like Tucker Carlson moving his platform there, probably because he lost his other platform too. But you could see them moving towards more of a live content kind of infrastructure as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think also like as I've always told Slum, like my primary social platform is Twitter. It's always been Twitter. Like that's the one that people who work in this industry for a living, that's where we connect and always has been. And so it's no surprise that it's ripe with a bunch of gaming people that are ingrained in gaming culture. And yeah, I think it makes perfect sense that their user base would be ripe for the picking for some sort of live broadcasting in the gaming arena or otherwise. I think anywhere that provides the right tools, allows simulcasting, and has a big user base is somewhere that is worth at least looking into to broadcast your content. So they have a huge leg up, obviously, in their user base. So
I,
it's just a matter of whether they can tool it appropriately to make it like a meaningful experience for not only the streamer but also the viewers.
I've watched a few streams and then videos of the VOD on Twitter
Right.
and or on X. It's even when I had good internet, the quality wasn't there. Like I know what this person broadcasts at, and this is not it. The audio wasn't. It sounded like it was coming through a tin can. So they got to work on that a little bit. And I'm curious. Do you think so? These stats are from 2020 to 2001. Do you
Right.
think they are still kind of the same? 91 million gamers on the platform.
Um maybe not. I think I think like anything that's polarizing, there was a mass exodus from Twitter. But at the same time, that probably brought like the coverage of that brought even more people to Twitter. You know, like where it evens out. Like I don't know. You know, is it a wash? Who knows? You know,
There
maybe.
really isn't a viable alternative either at this point.
No,
I
there
know
is no
Instagram
viable
tried,
alternative.
but
No.
still
Yeah,
the only one like
Threads is a
it.
meme.
I know.
Yeah, it's goofy as hell, and so are all of these other knockoffs. Like I've watched so many creators create, you know, get their handle on this site, that site,
Yeah.
the other site, and it's just like I don't know, man. I'll care when it matters. Until then, like I can only juggle so many of these platforms that you know, barely have any function or you know, user base. So
What do you think? Do you think that X is going to be? Have you heard about like what Elon wants to do with the app? And do you think that it will be like the everything app and take over some of these big things, like possibly a YouTube or possibly a Twitch?
um I don't believe that they will invest enough in the tech to do that. Um, you know, I think a lot of like the technical underbelly of Twitter was gutted to a certain point, and I don't see. I mean, like it will be a arduous venture to retool that with people capable to create something so you know hopefully dominant, right? Like I just think that those like they're shooting for the moon, but they're not working with NASA. You know what I mean?
What about
It's
SpaceX?
yeah, they're not working with SpaceX. They're not, you know what I mean? Like that's probably a much more apt example. Thank you.
Yeah.
Um no, like they're working with like third graders. I don't know, dude. It's from what I understand, like it's not on the tech side of things, it's not what it used to be, right? A lot of those engineers are gone. And you know, we've seen firsthand like a bunch of bugs and issues with Twitter as a result, right? Through the takeover and the changing of the guard. I think that that doesn't leave them in a position, at least right now, to do anything that extravagant.
Okay.
We'll see. I think it's a lofty goal, and I would love to see it. You know, I'm all about the competition in the marketplace. I want to see people push the boundaries of what's available, especially for live broadcasting and creators reaching audiences. Um, but you know, to try and overtake something, especially like a YouTube, I just don't see it.
Okay. All right. Well, that is the take on. That's gonna have to go on our list of what we're keeping up with.
We'll keep an
Um.
eye on it for sure.
Yeah, we gotta
And
keep.
honestly, I mean, you know, uh, I will continue. Like I've experimented with simulcasting myself, obviously from Twitch to we've tried out the TikTok thing. Um, I think my target audience lies a lot more on something like Twitter or X, rather just because like I have a decent following there. And it's also like an older crowd. It's people that, you know, want to have conversation rather than like the incessant mindless scrolling. Um, Not that I don't love TikTok myself. It's not often the audience is younger, which is not who I stream to on the day to day on my Twitch channel. I have a much older audience. So there's a bit of a disconnect there. But on top of that, when you're in that mindset and scrolling on Twitter, the last thing you want to do is like plug into a stream that is, you know, has is meaningful long form content, right?
That
It's
is
just
very
not.
interesting because Twitter used to be the 140 character platform,
Hmm.
Hmm.
and now it's got its eyes on becoming a long form platform, and even more. But like going from so short and diluted to 140 characters to hour-long videos, possibly even longer. That's interesting. I didn't even think about
This
the
had a
history of
5 hour VOD.
yeah, I didn't even think about the history of like of what it was and how it started and now
Yeah,
and that's baked into their audience, like you were just saying.
right. But also, like, even beyond that, you follow the money, right? I mean, that's what dictates all of this and the trends that are here is that it was easy to sell a bunch of views and clicks to advertisers, but then so it was all about short term and grabbing attention and boom, 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 boom. Look at these numbers. We sell these numbers. These numbers sell quick. Then advertisers realize, oh, conversion is actually terrible on all of these like really short form things.
Yeah.
Conversion is infinitely better on long form.
Yep.
And then they realize, oh, okay, we need to prioritize long form, which TikTok is doing right now. Twitter has expanded, what is possible with their character limits. Now they have video content. They really want to do it all so that they can sell that to advertisers, and that's really all that matters at the end of the day. And that's going to dictate the trends. And honestly, it's unfortunate because someone like me, like any content creator, has to bend to the whims of the relationship between these platforms and the advertisers, and then that determines the kind of content that I have to make to be successful, which honestly is horseshit. But that's, you got to play the algorithm game sometimes, and that's just the reality of this industry.
Well, that's also why a good model is a model like what you have, and what a lot of people are switching to is a community supported model.
Yeah.
That's always huge because any company can pull out at any time for any reason.
Yep.
Any reason. And nowadays you could say one wrong thing in their mind and you're gone. So a community supported model is
Yeah,
awesome.
building meaningful connections
Yeah.
is really all that it ever comes down to. So,
Well, you know what excites me? We're talking about content.
yeah.
And it's not long form, but have you ever heard of Runway Runway AI?
No.
Okay.
What is it?
This is interesting because Abe, I'm glad you brought this into our attention, because back in the day I
Mhm.
used this software, and it was, you know how sometimes we take a picture of you and we chop out the background?
Yep.
So this AI back in the day, that's all it was. It was just put a picture in and chop it out.
Okay.
And then I think it was
A
probably early.
browser-based tool?
Sure, yes. So earlier this year, all of a sudden, when this AI boom happened, their names started popping up again, and they started doing video AI generation.
Mhm.
Like everyone's doing photo generation, but Runway is actually doing video AI generation. So they came out with Gen 1. It was a little wonky. I have access to Gen 1 and Gen 2, which I'm very thankful for. Thank you, Runway. They came out with Gen 1, a little wonky, but it's also something new and crazy. So it is what it is. It's learning every day. And now they have Gen 2. And Abe, I'm wondering, is there something that you want to show us? Is there something that caught your eye?
There's like a minute long clip that explains it that I think we could play.
Let's do it.
Hold on.
Bang it out.
What you got, dude?
Hopefully the audio is not too loud, but you're getting the audio,
Not too
right?
long ago,
Yes.
Runway
Yep.
pushed the boundaries of generative AI with Gen 1, a video-to-video model that allows you to use words and images to generate new videos out of existing ones. In the weeks since launching, the model has constantly gotten better. Better temporal consistency, better fidelity, better results. And as more and more people gained access,
dude, you see
we
me? I
unlocked
was in there.
entirely new use cases and displays of creativity. And today, we're excited to announce our biggest unlock yet: text to video
Yup.
with Gen 2.
Yup.
Now you can generate a video with nothing but words. No driving video, no input image.
Love it.
Gen 2 represents yet another major research milestone and another monumental step forward for generative AI. With Gen 2, anyone, anywhere can suddenly realize
That's the gist of
Good.
it. We don't
Yeah.
need to listen to the last 14
So
seconds,
that's
but-
something that I forgot. Gen 1 was you have to put a picture in and say, I want this video to look like this, and it'll
To
take
expand,
the information from the picture.
Mhm.
Now it's doing text to video. It showed a lot of good stuff in that clip, but it's not that it's very hard to get stuff like that.
Based on your outputs, you've had maybe a slightly different experience.
yeah, yeah, a little bit. What have you ever seen any video AI yet, or is this the first time you're seeing video AI?
I think like obviously like I've seen and we've played around with a lot of the stuff that's like built into Photoshop now, which is pretty cool. Expand photos and whatnot, and let you pick like 1, 2, 3, whatever the options are.
Yeah,
A lot of that stuff is super impressive. Like my mind's pretty blown by that. The video thing, whole other level, right? So
yeah,
what I'm thinking is like, all right, we even for something as goofy as like a live tweet in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
like I don't know like what the process time is on something like this. I'm sure it takes a minute,
13
but
minutes.
gotcha. So
And you
like
only get like 4 seconds.
putting my face in as a reference, or like, getting me in there as a reference point, and then using text to say this guy doing this thing. It's like that's the way to have the perfect like hook grab for anything, not even just like a tweet, but like any piece of content, like me doing XYZ is hilarious, right? And I don't know, I feel like we could play around with that quite a bit.
I wonder if it also tries to aesthetically create a scene. You know what I mean? Like with
I think they have some like
yeah, what do you think? Like
cinematic, like I mean,
points
if,
of
if you put it in the descriptor,
use points of it, use the rule of third, make the person
I don't see why not.
so this is what I'm saying. So a lot of people are freaking out about this stuff, and it's all creators, content creators. They're like, they're
Right.
gonna take our job. It is what the heck. I don't like that thought. And also a lot of the people that I talk to, they do media for businesses, say like a law firm or
Mhm.
a sales company or something like that.
Right.
They do media for these companies, and they're nervous that this stuff is going to put them out of work. The people that you do work for and get to pay you for this work, they're not going to be using this stuff. They wouldn't know what to do with it. You need to worry about other content creators getting it before you do, and they're already in the market with you, so they're your competitors already.
Right.
So you got to just stay in tune and use the stuff if it's ready. Use it however you want to use it, but it's not going to be this putting you out of business. It's going to be other creators that are hip to it and using
Well, I think
it.
even beyond that, it's that they're putting themselves out of business if they're not going to, be malleable with the market
Mhm.
and the tech that comes out, and making sure that they stay on top and know how to utilize the tools to the best of their ability, right? Like it's their own fault at a certain point, right?
Well,
So
and then Slum, I have a question about that anyway.
Go for it.
Isn't just using this platform on its own without really knowing what you're doing as a content creator, isn't that akin to just like grabbing B-roll and throwing in a commercial, or grabbing those static images that people make that are just like, the guy giving the thumbs up? Like, isn't that essentially the same thing?
You're saying like you could use it the same way, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's templates out there already that people create that are just generic roles
Yep.
of people doing stuff,
Yep.
people posing in
There's
certain
stock
ways.
footage websites, so you can just download
Well, that's what
a
I'm
bunch of
saying.
stock
It's
footage.
the equivalent of stock footage in that, like, just because you can use it to generate anything doesn't mean it's any good.
Or doesn't mean that the people that you provide business to are going to do it themselves.
no.
Like the people that you do work with are experts in their craft, and if they're
Yeah.
good at it, they're spending all their time becoming the best at that.
Correct.
They're not. It's not like you have a client that's a sales company, and then you're going to get a call saying, you know what, my admin's actually going to hop on Gen 2. We don't need you anymore. It's not going to work like that.
My nephew cooked something up. I think it's pretty good.
I mean, you got to worry about other like that nephew could be a creator. That's
Yeah.
for sure. But it's a lot of people are a lot of these media producers and these content creators are worried that it's going to put them out of a job.
Right.
And I just don't think they're thinking about it the right way.
No.
Creators are going to be using this stuff, and they're your competition already. So just be ready and just keep pushing forward.
Yeah,
Was
it's
there?
definitely fascinating.
Yeah.
I'm stoked to see what we could use this for.
Yeah.
I wanna play with
I've
it.
been tapping into it. It's not.
Okay.
A while back, I took it was me with a can of Voodoo Ranger, and I was walking towards the camera, and I said,
sponsored.
I said, replace me with a skeleton,
Yeah.
and it was so bad. It
Nice.
was so bad, dude.
Nice.
So it's not there yet. They gave you like the best examples in that video.
Yeah, nice.
It's not
Alright.
there yet, dude.
Okay.
Is there a clip, Abe, that you wanted to? Is there like an example clip that you saw, or
That was the best thing I could find,
Okay.
honestly. Like, as far as people using it, there wasn't many quality examples
Yeah.
other than the ones that were in that video.
It is fun to go
So-
through the Discord though and just see these like weird examples
Mm-hmm.
of I love
Looks
this
a
AI
lot like
stuff because
Shrek Retold.
yeah, yep. if you don't pay for it, you see if you pay for it, you can have your own private Discord. And then
Right.
if you don't, you're just in the chat with everyone, so you see
Yeah.
what people are making. And some
Ooh.
of this stuff is just freaking weird, dude. Some
Yeah.
people got
well, I
issues
believe
out there.
it's the internet.
Oh
at the
my
end
That
of the
God.
day.
alone would be worth signing up for because I'm sure there's some great content in there.
Oh my gosh. But all this AI content creation stuff, I love it. It's super fun. And my motto is literally break the barrier between imagination and execution.
Mm.
The only limit with this stuff is your mind and your
Write that down, Abe.
imagination. It's awesome.
Taking notes.
Oh man. So, well, speaking of generation, this is a hard segue. Generation. The first generation of Apple Watches are now being made obsolete. Did you know that? Meaning you can't repair them anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the big
Apple's
thing.
always been obsolete to me, but yeah, I hear you.
Oh yeah,
So
you're not an
what does that
Apple guy,
mean?
dude.
What exactly
Would-
does that mean?
That means that they will no longer be eligible for repairs or other service at Apple stores. So when
did
Apple
the
marks
first Apple Watch come out?
That's what I'm curious of.
2015,
2015.
7-year-old. So if you actually took care of
Obsolete,
your
bro.
watch for 7 years, which I wear watches that are older than that, you mean to
Yeah.
tell me that so they can't get repaired anymore? But what, like they still
they won't service them at all.
Yeah, but
You cannot bring them into Apple.
who's getting a Gen 1 serviced?
I don't know if the
Anyone who
electronics
gets
start
Apple
malfunctioning. I don't know where to bring it.
Anyone who
Like, I
gets
wouldn't
Apple
know.
products like that,
They're just
probably
buying
not
the
on
next one anyway.
Yeah, they're probably not on a Gen 1 still.
Well, except that in the Gen 1 series, this did include their $17,000 solid gold Apple Watch.
If you think that I am going to shed a tear for the person that bought a $17,000 first edition gold Apple Watch, you are out of your mind.
The people who bought that watch don't give a shit.
They don't care at all.
They don't give
I
a
would be
shit, dude.
Stunned if anyone was still using that. Absolutely stunned.
$17,000 on an Apple Watch. You think the guy gives a shit if they're gonna repair it?
Unreal.
No.
Well, what I think is funny is if you had spent that level of money on one of the various Rolex brands or,
It could
I
have
don't
increased
know how
in
much
value
X
instead of
cost.
being
It
would have increased.
paperweight.
Audemars.
Exactly. If you melted down all the gold in that friggin' $17,000 watch, you'd probably have about $1,000.
Probably not even.
Less, probably.
That's so funny. So is the frame solid gold, or is it
Yeah.
gold plated?
I believe every part of that model is gold
That's
except
cool.
for the inner
That's
workings.
kind of cool, dude. I like that. What are they selling for right now?
Probably less than $17,000.
Oh,
The answer
man.
is less for sure.
I wonder what generation they're on right now. But
I
also with
think
obsolete, like this Apple Watch, it probably still works if you have it, but you weren't able to update the firmware since freaking probably like 2017, like 3 years.
And they
Yeah,
don't
they
want
stopped
to
supporting the
update the
firmware.
firm. They don't want to continue to update old firmware and make
No.
it good because then that prevents people from just trading up. That's the
Freaking-
reality. Like that, if they keep this running well with like really nice updated firmware and all the new tech, which they could easily just put on these old watches,
yeah.
like then people wouldn't buy Gen 2 or Gen 3. So I mean,
What is
listen,
that?
I get it.
What is that phrase with almost all the stuff manufactured nowadays? It's like planned obsoleteness or whatever the word would be.
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
It's like they make this stuff with a
planned
shelf life.
failure points. Yeah, I mean, like the companies like Sony got in like big trouble with that in the early 2000s. They were like, they literally would put like what the equivalent of a ticking time bomb in like these TVs, and it would go right after the warranty was up. They got caught doing that.
That's messed up.
It's wild, right? So
Well, maybe they turned it around because your camera is kicking somehow still.
I know.
It blows me away every day, dude.
No one's gonna be impressed by the footage on this video because our capture is not so hot, but and yours is like direct in,
Direct
not through
injection.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look at the way that we capture my cam here. Just the shout out, like you don't have to leave the comment. If you already did, it's okay. I understand. I'd be looking like, someone smudged me real good. But I do have a really nice camera. And I don't, if you come to my stream at twitch.tv/markstream, you can see it for yourself. But
Yep.
for now, it is what it is. We'll work on it. But yeah, I mean, I've had this camera for quite some time now, right? Like A7S2
Mhm.
from Sony.
Mhm.
And I haven't turned it off in like 6 years.
That's freaking crazy, dude. That's
Yeah,
absolutely crazy.
it's blasting.
Just sensor open all day, every day, power on.
Yeah.
That blows my mind. And that's
Mirrorless,
Sony, dude.
baby.
Maybe they turned a new leaf.
Maybe they turned a new leaf. Good on them.
Good on them.
Shout out to Sony. I also have used these headphones for a really long time.
Oh, look, dude, you're a Sony guy, bro. I didn't
I
even
am a
notice
Sony
that.
guy. Yeah, I mean, all you need is to get exposed one time. You're like, oh, we better do things the right way. And I was like, you know what? They're afraid of that happening again. I'm gonna buy their tech.
I
So,
like that. I like
yeah.
that. Are you have you ever bought any of Meta's tech? Like any VR headsets or anything like that?
I've done the index from Steam.
Okay.
I did see some really cool commercials for the latest Meta, like the new what do they make, the Oculus 2?
They make the
Is that them?
Oculus 2, they make the Quest Pro.
Oh, maybe it was a Quest.
was
Whatever
probably
the
the
newest
Quest.
version is, it was mad
Yeah.
cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's like $1,500 though.
I also saw something crazy. I don't know if Abe has it on the docket for today,
If
but
it doesn't,
I
let's
do.
get it.
I do. If you're talking about the interview, I do.
oh yeah.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be the aliens.
No wait, no aliens today, man. Let's
No
skip
aliens,
the
no
aliens today,
updates.
damn it.
We
No
only
updates.
we only talk about it when we have updates. There's been
All
no
right.
updates from Mexican Congress. My sources have told me.
I saw this too. Let's jump right to that then. Actually,
Okay.
go ahead.
This
what do you
was
got?
cool.
What is? Yeah.
Well, full screen. This is on the talk, by the way.
So I saw this and sent it to Abe immediately. I was like, "Yo, we got to talk about this because this is cool." So this is our
And it doesn't feel awkward to be
our
really
friend
close
Lex
to you.
Friedman.
No, it does. I actually moved.
Who
Do you want me to
is-
stop the audio? Hold
You
on.
got
Yeah,
it.
for a
That's
sec.
that. You were
It's just Lex Friedman, who is someone I've followed for a really long time. He's in like the podcast space and has like really meaningful, deep conversation, and really extrapolates things out beyond just like little voice clips, right? That get slung around the internet. If you want to like really like go down a rabbit hole, check out his podcasts. They are phenomenal, and the guests he has are really cool. And his ability to get information out of someone is also like really solid. I think it makes him a really great interviewer. That being said, he's sitting down with Zuckerberg, and they are in a virtual space with photorealistic avatars to the point where they are literally sitting in the same room, many states apart, and having a conversation, like 2 feet away from each other. And it is
This is wild.
fascinating.
Click the
Yeah, this
mute
is wild.
button, Abe, and then play it.
Yep. This
So
is wild,
we
this one.
see Zuck in. Now we see Lex Friedman. We see him in real life with his headset on. We see a depth map of his 3D capture. Which pause it for a second, actually, Abe. Sorry about that.
On the depth map,
Dude,
yeah.
you know what? Yeah. You know what's freaking crazy about this, dude? You know what's really crazy?
The real-time lighting.
Yeah, that's not that
Yeah,
crazy.
it's pretty wild.
What's really crazy is look at what he's wearing and then think about how the heck it's getting the data of his face, the depth map of his face and his shoulders. All he's wearing is a headset.
So he's pre-scanned.
Is he pre-scanned?
Pre-scanned. He went through a process. He got his avatar pre-scanned. This is not
That's
live
the
from the
hardest
headset
thing,
at all.
dude. I thought it was from this headset.
No, you go into a facility and you get pre-scanned.
Dude,
the
my
headset is
level
just
of
motion and tracking.
my level
So
of being
it's
blown
facial
away.
tracking, but not his actual
How
like
does it get his
structure.
mouth movements though? That's
because
what I
it
didn't
does
understand.
have the Quest does have sensors. The Quest Pro
Yeah.
has sensors everywhere.
Okay.
That's why I thought the depth map was coming from the headset. My
Nah.
level of blown awayness is significantly dropped, bro.
I'm
gonna be
still
honest with you.
pretty blown away by even the depth map and how like it captured wrinkles in his face.
Yeah,
almost
because
perfectly.
they did a really professional
legit, yeah.
scan.
and it moves.
But
Watch the wrinkles in his forehead and stuff too. The way they move so fluidly with
Yeah.
his face,
Yeah.
it's pretty wild.
That's
Yeah.
photogrammetry is a whole art of its own, dude. It's something totally different, and it is wild. Like, we do phone scans, me and Markstrom. There's people with devices and software that, like, you can see the pores stretch. It's wild, dude. So that's damn, dude. I thought the headset. I was about to go buy one.
That's too crazy. No,
Damn.
we're not there yet.
All
son.
right, so
But, you mean to tell me, like, if you can have this, right? I mean, look at that shot of them
Yeah.
sitting next to each other and having a conversation. And if that is something that we could experience, you would not go into a facility and pay like a couple $100 and get scanned.
I want to do that either way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
So
want-
like
I want high
I
rate.
think people would do that for that avatar in their
Some-
world. Of course, there's also people that would rather not do that.
Yes.
And they
Mhm.
and like if they want to have an avatar, they're
Correct.
going to maybe they even hire an artist for their avatar,
Yep.
like somebody does for a VTuber.
Yes.
Very cool.
That's one of the beauties about VR is you don't have to be yourself.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
people actually find this off-putting. Like, imagine
for
how
sure.
imagine how creepy it must have felt when Friedman was getting super close to Zuck when
all up inside
he
of them.
was like,
Nah, yeah.
"This is crazy."
I have to say, this is the most human Mark Zuckerberg's ever looked.
Yeah, they took a little lizard person out of him for sure. They like scaled that knob down for
They
sure.
scaled
dude.
that forehead down too. Jesus, dude. Oh my gosh. The guy's got a forehead that keeps growing every year. It's insane.
He's got to do something about that haircut too, because you put bolts in his neck. He looks like Frankenstein.
God, poor guy. I
You guys better watch out your comments. He's been hitting the jujitsu hard.
Yeah, he has. I am blown away with a lot of stuff from this headset. And granted, this whole feature isn't necessarily the headset. It's a lot of stuff going in at once. Like, even during the podcast, that audio was coming from external mics. There's a lot to go in to make that experience really good.
Right.
The headset, though, all that stuff aside, there are so many really cool things with that headset, with AR, with 3D modeling. That headset, it's a little expensive, but the possibilities for a graphic artist, for a 3D artist, for a content creator, there's so many of them, dude. You can record yourself in the metaverse, so you don't even need a camera. You could just set a tripod up here, it records. It is a wonderful headset. I heard it was a bit uncomfortable, but the features.
I think
on
they
that-
all
Work
are, to
out
be
those
fair.
kinks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are a bit comfortable.
I think they all are pretty uncomfy. I'll tell you, my index definitely is uncomfortable.
If you- I actually have that white thing right there. That's
wait,
the
it's off
Quest.
cam.
We can't see it. It's off
No,
camera.
you can't see it, but they can see it. It's
Oh.
that's the Oculus Quest. So I'm a fan. I'm definitely a fan of the VR things they're putting out. So I'm ready. I'm ready for the next one. Just gotta bring the price down a little bit, dude.
Not gonna buy the Apple one that's been unveiled. Didn't look great to me.
Didn't look
I'll
great.
tell you that much. Price tag not great.
Nope. And
The
then
functionality didn't look great.
nah.
The
Something
coolest thing that they showed was oh yeah, the same app widget dashboard that you see on your phone. Do I need that here? I don't know, man. Probably
Yeah.
not.
and
Does it have the blue texts? It's big.
I'm curious about something. So Apple's very good at marketing, and
Yeah.
a lot of these VR companies kind of take this route because with advertising, if you can tap into nostalgia, then you succeeded. Nostalgia is very, very potent in advertising, in life in general. So a lot of these VR things, they show clips of like watching family videos.
Oh,
and
yeah.
being there.
Yep.
Is that really like? Do you
Is
want
that a
to-
real use case?
No, I know it's a real use case. I want to ask you, like, would you want to put yourself in that memory? Like, is that something that you would do?
Potentially with kids. You know what I mean? Like if you're filming an environment where like your kid is playing or walking for the first time, you wouldn't want to go back in there and watch it like, 10 years down the road.
I think possibly. I just think some people, something like that might be a slippery slope.
Sure.
I think of
Got to
I
record your
think of
whole
the
life
dark.
like people at a
Yeah.
concert holding up their phones the whole time.
Yeah, that's true.
Where do you draw the line? How do you enjoy the moment if you're just trying to record it all the whole time?
That's true. We weren't recording when we saw Dance Gavin Dance.
That's true because we were
Dude.
deep in the pit.
We were
You know what I'm saying?
deep in the pit, bro. We were sweaty.
Yeah, we were
Um,
sweaty. It's a good time though.
Abe, you got
That's
something?
an interesting, yeah, that's an interesting thought though too, because I actually know some people that did when their grandmom was getting like elderly and sick, they made video recordings of her making all her like most well-loved recipes by the family.
Mm-hmm.
So they had her on camera doing it because I don't think she wrote down ingredient, like it was just, she just knew how to do it.
Right.
So imagine taking essentially a cooking class through VR with your grandmom, like after she's passed or something.
That's nice.
Pretty
That's
cool
cool.
concept, actually.
That is a very cool concept.
You know what's interesting? And I'm about to get real personal with you guys right now.
All right, hit me.
I do like the idea of family videos and stuff like that, because last time me and my family watched family videos, this was like 6 months ago. I saw, for those that don't know, my dad passed away a while ago, like 7 years ago. I saw a video of my father in a way that I've never seen him before. He was like sledding with the kids and shit like that. And so watching that video, I was like, holy crap, I never saw that. So I do like the idea of watching the family videos and stuff like that. But I think of people that would just get stuck in there, like that moment.
Well, it's funny you say that because like there's a bunch of like movies that reference that exact concept.
Yeah.
I want to say, was it Minority Report, where he like is watching like the video of like his kids at the beach with his wife or something, and he like watches it a bunch of times during the film. I don't know what movie it is off the top. It could be Minority Report, maybe it's Equilibrium. I don't know, dude. But one of those, and like they're like reliving that memory over and over again, rather than moving on.
Yeah.
etc. Yeah.
So that's what I think about. And it's interesting that that's the advertisement route, because I understand like the rule or like what you want to do with advertising. You want to tap into that stuff, but then I just think of the weird stuff.
Right.
I think VR headsets are going to be awesome for creators. And I don't know if I don't know if I'd buy a headset from Apple. I have a laptop for portability. I have a PC for my home.
Right.
I have an iPhone. But I don't know about the headset, because I know their business practices. I know the charger's not going to work in the next generation. I know I'm going to have to buy a dongle. I know I'm going to have to get Apple Care or for something. I don't freaking know. That doesn't even work. Apple Care is the biggest scam ever.
Here we go.
It is the biggest scam ever. I made
a
clip.
Comcast level rant going on right now, or what?
No, not that level. I made a clip on this a while ago. Apple Care is absolutely ridiculous because they make you pay for care and then you bring it to get fixed and it's not covered by Apple Care.
That's insurance, man. You just named the entire insurance industry.
Yeah.
That's bullshit, dude.
Oh, it's bullshit.
That's fucking bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
There's no like just insurance company out there.
I mean, most of the time the death ones pay out
without any questions every month on the dot. And if you don't, there's a big problem. But the minute you need something paid out, see, this is where we're going to have to talk about this.
That's
every time.
Bullshit, dude.
Yeah.
You know what, though? I have one good insurance story.
Yeah.
We needed to dig up the front yard and replace the shit pipe.
Yeah.
And Trisha's grandmother was paying for water or tube insurance for years, dude. And it was a $15,000 job, and they covered it.
That's what's up.
They covered it, dude.
Love to see that.
Love to see it. Ain't no Apple Care, though. Apple Care is fucking trash.
That's unlucky.
So before we get off Meta, I know that there's one more thing that we skipped over. What do we got on that Meta?
So
plans? Go ahead.
On the vein of shitty business practices. So this is predominantly in Europe right now is where this is taking place, but essentially Meta has started an ad-free platform for Instagram and Facebook, and it really is targeting people that have opted out of their data sharing model. So if you're not willing to share your data with Meta, then they're essentially, they call it an option, but it seems like they're kind of leaning towards like, okay, well then get ad-free Instagram and Facebook for $14 a month.
Mm.
And I stole this article from behind the paywall on on a well-known news site. So it's
I see.
in,
Dude, you can't say that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to delete this episode when we're like really big in a couple of years. No
well,
one
I
will
got
ever
this
know.
one for free. I probably just shouldn't have copied
All right,
it. So I'll delete
so-
this afterwards.
If you don't want to give us your data,
Mm.
if you don't want us to know when you're taking a shit, then you have to pay $14 a month to access our site.
I don't think that's
I know
exactly what
they're
it's
leaning
saying.
towards. They're offering it to people in that space, and I think it's because they feel like people in that space are more ad adverse, which is why they're not sharing their data because they don't want you to get the information about them to feed ads into them.
Right.
But I don't think you have to pay it.
Yeah, they're just they're targeting people that have opted out of, like, you know, take my internet footprint to give me nice targeted ads.
Yeah.
They know that they're not going to get good conversion from you, and so rather than have you look at ads, that's who they are advertising this to,
Correct.
like this $14 a month ad free Instagram and Facebook, because the ads are already not going to do anything, and I'm sure the advertisers are not happy about that, so they're not getting paid for it, so they want to get paid for that person as an individual. And so honestly, like for me, I don't use Instagram or Facebook. I don't even use it for work. I mean, my editor posts to Instagram, but I'm not sitting scrolling Instagram. I may follow like less than 50 people on Instagram, and like that's just not a preferred. I know that that's like, do people who have like personal accounts use that? Is that still like the hip
I
thing?
use
Is that the
Instagram all the
go-to?
time. I have
Okay.
not moved
Instagram's
on to
still pretty
TikTok
big.
yet. I think I'm a boomer though. So
Yeah, you're a
maybe that's
boomer for sure, but like the I don't know, like they serve two different purposes. So I don't expect you to move on to TikTok. TikTok isn't used to keep in touch with like your friends from this amount of time ago, or people
Mhm.
that you don't get to see often, right? 'Cause that's what people use Instagram for most, right?
that I mean there is a lot of people
Just
using
to
the
project to
reels.
each other. Is that the
No,
whole
it's
thing?
it's people use it for the same thing, but people who aren't on TikTok still have a conception about TikTok that it's something that it isn't.
Right.
Sort of
Yeah,
like
I think that's likely the case.
Yeah, sort of like me. Like when I first tried TikTok, it was just a bunch of girls dancing to stupid music.
Right.
But then I see that they have carousels of photos, they have content, long form content. It's the same app, but I think people are just hooked on Instagram and also have a thought that TikTok is something else, and those aren't the people that are switching.
That I just don't want to put another app on my phone, honestly. Like I
Especially
just
that
don't need
app, dude.
another content app that's going to suck time out of me.
It is a time sucker extraordinaire. Let me be the first to tell you. It's the Gluck 9000 of the time sucking, bro. You end up in a vortex, a black hole. That being said, great content on there. great content. I've never sat and thought like, let me look at people's, posts and stories on Instagram, like as if that's going to be entertaining to me. Like, I don't care what your like snapshot of your projection of like what you want people to see of you. Like, I don't put a whole lot of stock into that. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's one thing to make content, but to not be a content creator and then make that your, I don't know, your just even let that eat up your time just feels so silly to me. I have a hard time relating to that concept.
Does TikTok have ads?
Yes,
I would
it
imagine they
does.
do. Yeah. Would you pay for an
try
ad
to
free
integrate
version?
it in a way that feels natural. Oftentimes they'll actually, like, a lot of the ads are paid creators, and like they'll give you the first 3 seconds and you think it's just a normal TikTok, and then the ad thing comes up at the bottom to like signify, oh, this is an ad.
Would you
But
pay for an
maybe
ad free version?
no, because it takes no time to scroll past it, just like I do half the things on there.
Gotcha.
You know what's
Yeah, it's not intrusive, and that's like a big thing. Is like, how intrusive is the ad? Does it interrupt my content consumption? And that's what Twitch gets wrong so horrifyingly.
I hate the ads on Twitch, dude.
They're
They're
the
awful.
worst.
They're
It's as
awful.
bad as it gets. It literally ruins the platform, and is a massive reason why they are losing market share.
Why don't they just do banners or something
There's
instead
so
of
many things that they could do, Slum, and it's just they don't. They don't take the time to experiment with it because they're constantly fighting a losing battle because they don't do a good job selling ad space. They don't have targeted information. They don't do a good job at sussing out who's who, what they like. They're not tracking information, and maybe that's a plus for a lot of people. But at the end of the day, they just don't do it well, and they don't sell it well, and they've gotten themselves into like a big quandary on that front. And now we're just the solution for them has been we're just going to ram ads down your throat in the worst way possible. We don't care if it interrupts content. But that's how you kill a content platform. So
That is how you kill a content platform.
Maybe X. Maybe
Maybe
X.
they're
Elon, if you're listening, and we know you are,
yeah, maybe they're
come on and
leaving that
talk to
window
us
open.
about it.
All right, so there's 2 things left that we got to talk about, and then
All right,
we'll
listening.
wrap this up. I'm excited for the last one, but let's jump into the first one.
okay.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
So, in the I feel like we talk about this on here all the time, but in the ever prolonged quest for corporations to reduce labor by introducing AI and automation, Chipotle is now running, and they're running tests to have their burrito bowl and salad creation for digital orders be done fully automated by a robot.
Hey, Slum,
Wait, go ahead.
you ever have diarrhea from a robot? Because you're about to
No,
be.
I've never had
That's
diarrhea
very exciting,
from
dude.
a robot.
This is a whole new experience, bro.
So it's the burrito bowl and the salad. No burrito yet.
Correct. I think it's because you can essentially just slop shit into a bowl
It's a
and
safe job for humans.
Yeah.
If you want to invest in your future, learn how to roll a burrito.
So-
Robots can't figure it out.
All right. So
Job
how is
security,
it doing?
baby.
How is it? Is it
so
successful?
they originally they actually started this quest with making their tortilla chips. So they had a robot called Chippy that that they use in their California restaurants, and it passed basically their first round of testing. So
Yeah.
they've just implemented the testing now on the burrito bowls and salads. Now, to be clear, Chipotle already has 2 separate production lines. They have the one that they do for show, if you go into the store and you order from a person, they make it in front of you.
Yeah.
But there's another one in the back that they use for all their digital and online orders.
Or on the
Nice.
side, like you could still see it. The ones I go to, you
Yeah.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's essentially a separate line just for that.
Yeah.
And I think
Mhm.
the stat I read too is that over like 80% of their orders are digital now. Or 2/3, sorry. So like 66% of their orders are digital now.
Okay.
Right. So they're pumping out more of the behind the scenes ones than they are, the front and center ones.
Sure.
Interesting.
So this could be a great way for them to essentially massively cut down on labor if this all works out.
Well,
They haven't announced any of the results yet, but
I'll tell you what, they're gonna have to do something. All right, but I don't think it's hiring a robot. I think it's you start with going in there, whoever the operator of that Chipotle is, go in there undercover and actually see how your line acts. They're terrible. The customer service is trash. Okay? Every Chipotle now, after the freaking pandemic, you guys absolutely dropped the freaking ball. Your line is slow. Okay? There's one person doing everything. Your customer service is trash. Get that shit figured out. You
Wait,
guys charge
can I-
$15 for a bowl, and you are slow, and the line takes 45 minutes to get to the front, and then I got someone, what else you want? All right, whatever, yeah. Get the fuck out of here, dude. $15 for a bowl. Get that shit together, and then worry about your robots.
Can we
sorry,
just
what?
can we qualify that nice Chipotle rant? I think that was almost on par with the
It's bullshit, dude.
with the Comcast rant. but-
And their hot sauce burns my asshole.
okay, all
Sorry.
right. You one upped it. Are you happy? You one upped the Comcast. I just want to qualify this with these are Chipotles in Slums neck of the woods. I've not had these qualms with the Chipotles local to here, and so I do think that there is a regional aspect
So it's a franchise issue.
potentially. Yeah,
Have higher standards.
I hear you.
All right. Well, what else?
That's the risk
What
you
about
run when you
Chippy?
franchise.
let me see if this video is actually
What do you
them
got?
showing
I
the
hear
automation.
something.
Oh, it is. Hold on.
What do you
Hold
got
on.
there, dude? I want to see it.
Yeah,
I
give me
just
a
wanted to make sure it wasn't
Is it Chippy?
anything stupid first.
let me
No,
catch
it's
a glimpse
not.
of that warlock.
I'll turn the audio off because we don't really need the audio of their
All
calming
right, so
music.
this
So
looks like a
this is what it looks
a
like.
production line of robots for the bowl. Oh, you know what would be good for this, dude? Maybe now the serving of double chicken will actually
waiting
be
on this the whole
accurate.
time.
Because
I
you're
was
going to
waiting on
charge
this
me
the
an
whole
extra
time.
$3 for double chicken and give me a half scoop one day, a quarter scoop the next day, or a full scoop, depending on how your day's going. I got to ask you first. I got to
Slum, I
butter
think you
you up.
gotta try Qdoba or something. You might
Qdoba's
need a
nice.
new
Qdoba's nice.
You might need a new burrito place.
But that's actually a good thing. The robot will get it accurate. And they'll
Yeah.
probably skimp you, but it'll be accurate. I
It'll
like
be the
that.
same skimp every time.
It'll be the same skimp every time.
I like consistency.
Can I be honest though? I actually think this is cool, and like you said, I think you're gonna get more consistency out of a robot than you are in the
sure.
long run
Yeah.
than you are out of a worker anyway. So like, not anti-labor or anything, but like I'm kind of like bring on the robots and let them make my burritos. They just got to get them to roll them, and then job security's
That's
going.
when things take off. Yeah, to the moon. Chipotle to the moon. We keep an eye on that, and then we buy Chipotle. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Oh, my
On the up and
man,
up.
trying to play the market. Let's go, dude.
They bought this technology through a company called Hyphen. So if you're gonna invest in anything, I guess it would be Hyphen.
Nah, that's probably too late to do that play.
Yeah, probably.
To do that play, that's probably too late. Now it's probably the Chipotle play.
Hmm.
But speaking of investments, still never found that missing $230 from my AI
From your
investment
robo.
account.
Oh, that's unlucky,
Dude, it just disappeared
You got an AI Madoff.
with no no trace, no record or anything.
And it's gone. It's gone.
And then there's one last thing that Abe wanted to get our advice on, which I'm excited
Okay.
about. So what do you
What do
got,
we got?
Abe?
Yeah, so you guys are both in shape. You both take care of yourselves.
Thanks, dude.
You obviously have a commitment to living a good physical lifestyle and working out. So I found this new drug that they have in testing, and it was actually developed by a professor from the University of Florida. So go Gators.
Gator!
Oh, jeez. Why was he ready for that? Why was he ready for that?
I stay ready.
What the fuck? Go ahead, Abe. I'm
So
sorry.
this drug is a weight loss drug, but what it actually does is it's from a class of drugs known as exercise mimetics.
Mhm.
And what they do is they actually trick your brain and muscles to mimic the effects of exercise to increase your metabolic rate and your stamina without actually performing acts of exercise.
Okay, so it's just hitting those two things. So when it says trick your brain into thinking your muscles are being worked, you're not going to grow muscles, but
You're not gonna trigger
Well,
other
but
things,
that's the other weird thing is they said that it's increasing endurance in the mice that they're testing on, with them running nearly 50% further than they could before, all without them not actually performing any new exercise.
Huh.
I'd really want to see the pathway breakdown at some point on this. I'd be really curious to like read the research paper.
Yeah, me too, dude. I want to see some pathways.
So from the article, it says this drug targets a group of proteins in the body known as ERRs, which are responsible for activating some of the most important metabolic pathways in energy gobbling tissues like muscles, the heart, and brain. The ERRs are more active when people exercise, but have been proven difficult to activate with drugs. So they're essentially trying to get your body to activate these proteins to then give signals to things like your muscles, your heart, and your brain that you're actually exercising, even though you're not.
Yes. So it's boosting your metabolism, possibly your endurance. But
Yeah, your muscular endurance and the way that.
what is that get you? I mean, I guess if you have a boosted metabolism, you can eat more and lose weight quicker without
Or
exercising.
you can it doesn't
your
impact
your BMR is going to increase for sure. I think that's like that's the pathway. Like obviously, like this kind of research gets done to make money, right? Everyone wants the magic pill, the easy
Get
drug,
rich quick.
yeah. And so, I think with that in mind, I'm sure this increases your BMR, your basic metabolic rate, to ensure that people can stay in a caloric deficit while still eating the amount that they want to eat, right? And so,
and it says it doesn't impact appetite or anything like that. So it's
Right.
not targeting like a lessened appetite.
Oh, interesting.
It doesn't impact appetite?
Yeah, it doesn't make you want to eat more or eat less. And actually, it also says here that in a test that they ran on obese mice, they treated
Mhm.
them twice a day for a month,
Mhm.
and that caused them to gain 10 times less fat than the untreated mice, and they actually lost 12% of their body weight, but they kept eating the same amount of food and didn't exercise more. So they
There it
essentially are
is.
just using more energy just by living their actual lifestyle.
I'd be curious
that
what the
does sound like
long-term effect is
steroids.
on someone's lifespan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're triggering these things like constantly, probably. That
I
are
would
meant to be
I would
triggered.
want to study these people's telomeres over time and see how that. I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah.
We'll see.
The myelin sheath might be deteriorating. You know what I'm
And I
saying,
think
dude?
this is currently an injectable and not a pill, so they're working towards pill.
Oh, it's
and getting
definitely
it into human
steroids then.
trials.
That's literally steroids. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're probably gonna get a gut too, but not fat gut, just a descending
Shredded gut.
A shredded gut. That's so interesting because it's accurate on some things. If you do it wrong, yeah. All right. So, well, are you getting this pill, Abe, or are you getting this injectable?
No. I mean, I would never do this because I'd rather just be fat than
Mm.
than
Not even fat. Dude.
really. What I'm saying, I'd rather be overweight than possibly alter my body chemistry or something in a way that messes me up. I mean, everyone's using Ozempic now,
Right.
and it's a diabetes medication, and it's screwing with people's stomachs in the long term. It's actually causing some early onset signs of actual diabetes for people that are using it that don't have it.
Yep.
Lovely.
So I think messing with this kind of let's be real, right? The best way to get skinnier is to control your caloric intake and take in less calories than you're putting out.
There you go.
Essentially, right? That is the tried and true method, and it's way healthier than like injecting your ass with some protein that makes you just get buff out of nowhere.
Dude, you know what really grinds my gears?
What grinds your gears?
When people go, I'm eating a lot of when I eat carbs, I gain weight. I'm like, dude, I could eat 3 donuts and still lose weight if I tracked
40 chicken nuggets.
If I tracked the calories. You understand that just eating carbs doesn't make you fat.
But you know where that comes from, right? Is like no one pays attention to their own like physical appearance. They don't have the ability to track it over time in their brain, like the physical like mental image of it. They can only do it short term, right? Because like let's say like you have crazy body change, but over like a 1 year period, if you're just looking at yourself in the mirror every day, it's really hard to like notice that it's happening. But then you could look back a year and you're like, holy shit, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that's very typical human nature. The only thing that they can process is like that 3 or 4 day window of looking at themselves naked in the mirror when they get out of the shower. And obviously, when your body's carved up, everything is all the muscle beds, everything in your body is bigger, right? Like it shows itself as expanded, right? And it can have these like direct impact on the physical appearance. And so like that is the same reason why like bodybuilders carb up before, like they get as lean as they can, but they carb up before they go on stage because they don't want to look flat. You know what I mean? And so like they get this like reduction or shrink in a lot of their cellular bodies by not eating carbs for like 4 days. Their body goes into ketosis and like bada bing, bada boom. But it's all temporary. And then when those people start eating carbs again, that weight comes back so fast. I think the keto diet is a great tool for people to use in the right circumstance. But for lifestyle overall, like long-term lifestyle, reducing any macronutrient is absurd. You should have everything in the right quantities, like the right percentages, and eat a healthy amount and be accountable for your caloric intake and your exercise. And that's all it ever comes down to. But people that like go overboard on like the carb thing always are the people that are like just rubber banding. Because again, it's all about those short-term wins and then short-term losses, and it just yo-yos.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, would you two use something like this ever? Would you ever use these kinds of drugs?
Like,
or
So,
I mean, you're already very dedicated to a healthy working out lifestyle and tracking your macros and that stuff. But
Slum and I have talked about late life TRT usage,
Yeah.
right? At a certain point, I think like quality of life is significantly increased if you have low T into your like 40s and 50s. If you supplement that with injections, then I think the life is literally better in every way, shape, or form. Like,
Energy, sex drive, physical shape. Honestly, energy is
it's the
biggest.
big one for me. It's just energy, bro. Like, and the effects of low T are staggering.
Yep.
And
Wiener
they can
problems.
be, yeah, they can be debilitating, dude.
That happens, right? If you have low T, you probably can't get a boner.
I'm sure it has an impact on. It definitely has an impact on libido, which then has an impact on arousal.
Yeah.
But so I mean, like in a certain sense, it depends how you classify this versus something that people have been doing for a really long time, right? With known side effects, right? Like we're I personally would will always research the best way to take care of myself. But if something new like this, without like the proper research or long-term study on its effects on the human body, not mice, no, absolutely not.
No, I'm never the first person in line for this stuff.
Yeah.
Just like the
Well,
brain chip. Like I'm not
Mm.
first one in line.
I put it
If
in
I'm
the
80,
notes
bro,
too.
I'm brain chipping for sure.
So then
But
to
I put it in the
wrap,
notes too. But like, what about something like the limitless drug? If you could unlock, the full power of your brain through some kind of drug or injection.
well, there was side
like-
effects on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think the side effects were you basically got addicted to it, and if you didn't keep using it, you died
Correct.
through withdrawal.
And then somehow Bradley Cooper weaned off it.
I
But
think he
I
just
mean,
made
he's
a better
Bradley
version
Cooper.
of it.
That dude can
Yeah.
do anything.
yeah.
Let's be honest.
Would I take
Great
that if knowing the movie and knowing it's possible to get off it? Yeah, fuck yeah, I'd take that. That is insane. But if you can't get off it and I know the side effects, then no.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. The world couldn't handle me with 100% brain. I think it's probably for the best we avoid that one.
All right. Well, dude, I think we went over, even including
A little over, a
the
little something extra for our first time live.
Yeah,
You know?
the
Well,
10
with the 10 minutes of me muted, and then we're about right. We'll get them next time, dude.
First time, dude. It was the first time.
All good, bro.
Markstrom, what do you got going on in your life right now?
I am just really enjoying my day-to-day on stream. Big stream coming up this Friday. It's our monthly celebration, if you will, called FBF. You can come by the stream and find out what that stands for. But I promise you it's a good time. And yeah, we got that kicking. Big month for travel as well. Going to be hitting TwitchCon here in a few weeks. Very looking forward to that. Going to be meeting up with a lot of friends, community members, having some good business meetings, and getting after it. Should be really fun. So meeting a lot of people out there, including Slum, and yeah, it'll be great.
Abe,
What about
how
you,
about
Slum?
dude?
All right.
As always, you can find me moderating the chat on a good day over at twitch.tv/Markstrom, and keep listening to me here live every Wednesday.
Good stuff. Also, Markstrom, your links are in the description. I don't know if you noticed that. Twitch
That's
link,
nice. Thanks,
Instagram
man.
link, and TikTok link.
You can take
And
the one
my
out.
name is Slum, or my name is Dom, whatever you want to call me. I run a media production company, licensed to shoot media, licensed to kill like James Bond. Link is also in the description. But you can also catch me at Markstrom's Twitch channel. I be in there. I tune in. So come on
Every day?
by to that live stream. Come on back by to this podcast every Wednesday. Wherever we see you, we'll give you a warm welcome. And until next time, peace.
Later.